A reading from the Hebrew Scriptures, Isaiah chapter 11. A shoot shall come out from the stock of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. His delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes see, or decide by what his ears hear, but with righteousness he shall judge the poor and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall kill the wicked. Righteousness shall be the belt around his waist, and faithfulness the belt around his loins. The wolf shall live with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and a little child will lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion will eat straw with the ox. The nursing child shall play over the hole of the asp, and the weaned shy child shall put his hand on the adder's den. They will not hurt or destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
In the verses that Charlotte just read, there are wild animals: wolf, leopard, lion, bear. And there are domesticated farm animals: lamb, goat, cow, ox. There are poisonous snakes, asp and adder. What's more, the prophet Isaiah paints a vivid picture of predator and prey living together, lying down together, raising their offspring together in peace. This eschatological vision is often referred to as the peaceable kingdom, a time of peace, of brotherhood and sisterhood here on earth, a time without violence or poverty of any kind. The peaceable kingdom has been depicted in paintings, in children's books, choral music, and other works of art throughout the ages. In fact, there's a framed piece of art by John August Swanson depicting the peaceable kingdom in one of our Sunday school rooms downstairs. It's worth noting that Isaiah casts a vision not only of different species coming together in peace, but also different ages. The lamb, that's a young sheep; the kid, a young goat; fatling is a young animal that's been fattened in readiness for slaughter. And even the youngest humans, the still nursing infant and the toddler, they will play peaceably with venomous snakes. So it's an intergenerational peace, all ages together, and all creatures and the land and the seas, all are full of the knowledge of God. Now that they are full of the knowledge of God, perhaps the lamb and the wolf realize that they have the same needs: the need to be safe, to raise their young, to be part of the cycle of life, and so they ought to live in peace. Now that they are full of the knowledge of God, perhaps the cow and the bear realized that they could learn something from one another. The cow could become more confident, like the bear, and the bear could become more content, like the cow. One way to continue with the sermon would be to include a list of many current situations into which we yearn for peace, to be full of the knowledge of God, for this kind of radical peace to arrive. You know the list, the much too long list. Another way would be to invite you to consider relationships in your life that need an infusion of peace, moving away from resentment or grudges, animosity or impatience, estrangement. Perhaps your relationship with a parent or child, a sibling, a spouse, a coworker or boss needs an infusion of peace. Well, those sermons are going to have to wait for another time. Instead, I'm just taking a minimalist approach this morning. Less is more. I'm simply going to offer brief reflections by 4 writers who swim in the deep end of the Advent pool. They give voice to our longing for the deep peace of shalom. They give voice to our longing for a way of being together that springs forth from the root of Jesse. So here they are. The first is a text by Herbert Brokering, a Minnesotan, a Lutheran, a writer. Brokering died in 2009. Here is one of his Advent meditations. Come, O Jesus, be the way. Come, O Jesus, come this way, and break the rock that hides my road so we can walk where the rock is. Come, O Jesus, come this way and wipe the tear that hides my face, so we can walk where the tear is. Come, O Jesus, come this way and calm the war that hides my peace, so we can walk where the war is. Come, O Jesus, come this way and burst the grave that hides my face, so we can walk where the grave is. The second reading is a piece by Anne Weems. She was sometimes referred to as the Presbyterian Poet Laureate. Here's her poem. It's called This Year. I wonder if God comes to the edge of heaven each Advent and flings the star into the December sky, laughing with joy as it lights the darkness here on earth. And the angels, hearing the laughter of God, begin to congregate in some celestial chamber and practice their alleluias. I wonder if there is some order or rank among the angels as they process, the seraphim bumping the cherubim from the top spot, the new inhabitants of heaven standing in the back until they get the knack of it. Or is everybody free to fly wherever the Spirit moves? Or do they even think about it? Perhaps when God calls, perhaps they just come, this multitude of the heavenly host. Perhaps they come swinging through the winds of time, full of expectancy, full of hope that this year, perhaps the earth will fall to its knees in a whisper of peace. The third is an excerpt by the German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer. It's part of a letter that Bonhoeffer wrote to Maria, his fiancée, while he was in a military prison. He was in Germany, the year was 1943, and World War II was raging. This is what Bonhoeffer wrote. Celebrating Advent means being able to wait. Waiting is an art that our impatient age has forgotten. It wants to break open the ripe fruit when it has hardly finished planting the shoot. Whoever does not know the austere blessedness of waiting will never experience the full blessing of fulfillment. Those who do not know how it feels to struggle anxiously with the deepest questions of life, of their life, and to patiently look forward with anticipation until the truth is revealed. They cannot even dream of the splendor of the moment in which clarity is illuminated for them. For the greatest, most profound, tenderest things in the world, we must wait. It happens not here in a storm, but according to the divine laws of sprouting, growing, and becoming. Here's the final reading, author unknown. Into a world that did not and does not know peace, God sends peace. Peace cannot be measured across space or time. It cannot be measured in treaties or constitutions, demilitarized zones or terrorist training camps, food shelf donations or red kettle coins. It cannot be measured by counting the living or the dead. God sends peace. Peace that is born in a feeding trough. Peace that is love for one's enemies. Peace that is the incomprehensible empty tomb. Peace that is as near as every breath. And so on this second Sunday of Advent, with our second blue candle lit, the candle of peace, let us take heart that the coming of Emmanuel, God with us, is soon, but not yet. For Jesus preaches about peace, Jesus teaches about peace, Jesus travels in peace, Jesus ministers in peace. Jesus takes on the religious authorities and the Roman Empire in pursuit of peace. Jesus is peaceful, and Jesus actually is peace. He is the embodiment of peace, and that is one of the gifts of the Incarnation. Peace, walking around here on earth 2,000 years ago. And so every Advent, we prepare and wait and anticipate and ache for the Prince of Peace to be born again.